right. Welcome to No MAAM, the podcast where we talk shit and throw a little bit of shade at everything and everyone. We'll have you saying no ma'am in no time. I'm your host, Willy Will, and this is my co-host.
Jhoany, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Ma'am.
Yes, Jhoany, you did it again. Amazing take. Love that for you. Thank you. You're a pro at this. Look at this.
I'm learning.
It's,
I'm learning.
it's,
I mean, it's only
it's
what, like episode 9? I should have it down at this point.
This is true. This is so true. You should. But you'll be surprised. I mean, even sometimes the pros don't even have their speech down. So it's all good. Well, we're back for
As
another
we see in this
episode.
episode.
I know, right? We're back for another episode of No MAAM. And the category is Snatch Game. Like, historically, I'm super excited for Snatch Game. I've always loved Snatch Games. For some reason, the international seasons and the international franchises of Snatch Games, I never really understand them too much because I don't get the characters, but that's just because I'm American and maybe I'm just not as cultured as I think I am. But overall,
Yeah,
what did you think about the episode?
I agree with you in the sense that, the international franchises, we are always a little bit disappointed with the Snatch Games. Not because they necessarily did bad, but we just don't understand the references. We don't understand the jokes.
Right.
And I think we spoke about that briefly in another episode. So I think it's unfair to say that it's bad. It's just something we don't necessarily understand.
Right, because some of the characters I just don't know who they are.
Yeah. That being said, though, some of these girls were just not funny at all. And they were playing characters that we knew that they were not those characters at all.
No, they weren't. But I mean, so before we get into specifics, overall, did you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Oh, shade. It was a no ma'am. Was it no ma'am? You know, I think elements of the episode was no ma'am, and I thought I thought elements of the episodes was really good.
Very few elements of the episode were really good.
So I give it a meh, ma'am.
Okay. I mean, I expected so much more after the first episode, and I feel like it's just slowly been declining. Hopefully they're able to pick it up again halfway through the season and really deliver. But there's a reason I've never really liked Down Under, and I think it's starting to come out again.
Oh my god, the honeymoon phase is over.
It is.
Jhoany said the honeymoon phase is over, y'all. But just
no shade to any of the girls. All of you are amazing. But it's just not living up to what I thought the season would be based off of the first episode.
Okay, which makes sense. I think it's a great assumption. I think that's a great opinion to have. So I mean, I think it makes sense. But just to give everybody a recap of the previous episode. So going into this challenge or this episode in general, Lazy Susan she won her second challenge in a row. And so it makes her the obvious front runner of the season. So now all the girls are coming after Lazy Susan. She has this target on her back. And then we found out that Olivia James was the first pork chop of Down Under season 4. So do you agree with both Lazy Susan winning the first 2 challenges and then Olivia, she needed to be the first one go home?
Yes, but also you said the first pork chop girl, there's always only one pork chop. It's not like there's 2 pork chops in one season.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know why I said the first pork chop. I feel like there was more than one pork chops.
Unless it's a double premiere.
So technically, then would it be 2 pork chops in that aspect? Or would the first one always be the pork chop?
If you think about it, I think everybody always just assumes that the first one is always the pork chop. That's it.
Oh, okay. Well, Olivia James is the pork chop of season 4.
Yeah.
Does it fit your fantasy?
It does. So, it's Lazy Susan being the front runner. Yeah. Olivia being the pork chop. I think it, when it's right, it's right.
Words have never been spoken more truer than when Mariah said it. So shout out to season 3, Mariah. You know, when it's right, it's right. And that's just what it is. So what I found really interesting in the beginning of the episode is that Vibe is literally coming for Lazy Susan. Vibe wants a win. She is hungry to have a win. I'm like,
Yes. Yes.
damn vibe.
You can see it. She wants that win so badly. Like that bitch is ready to do anything. But I do like something that Lazy Susan said, which is a sentiment I've always agreed with. She said, these bitches need to get in the race so I can earn my stripes. Because it's never fun when one queen just dominates everything and is the clear winner. Um, it's always fun when there's somebody like just right behind her or like actually making her work for the wins. So I do hope these girls step it up just a little bit so they can really start getting some wins in there.
Exactly. I mean, I thought that was a great thing that Lazy Susan said. And then speaking of something that's iconic and I thought was really funny, I loved when Vibe said, I don't condone violence, but I'm a fan of it. That
But
shit,
I am a fan of it.
funny.
You know that.
Like, I swear I thought that
Yes,
was something you
that
would
is
say.
exact. You know, never mind. Let me not get canceled. Yeah, I was about to reference it to something, or I'm not gonna get canceled so soon.
Listen, that is something that you would say though. Like when she said that, it was like
Yeah,
Jhoany's the first person that I thought of.
it is. Yeah, that
That
was
was good. It
hilarious,
was a really
and
great
that's
line.
definitely how I feel about certain things.
It's a really great line. Shout out to you, Vibe. That was great. She's coming off
Mhm.
with these iconic. You got to put that on a T-shirt. Like I don't condone violence, but I'm a fan of it.
She
That needs to
does.
be on a
She
T-shirt.
does.
Like that needs to be merch. Okay, you heard it here first. That needs to be part of like her merch package. Somebody needs to put it on a T-shirt. Um, So Michelle comes in the workroom and she tells the queens that they're one playing Snatch Game, but it's a different, it's kind of like a remix to the original Snatch Game. It's called I'm a Celebrity Impersonator, Snatch Me Out of Here. So now, like I guess it's like a wilderness kind of like survivor-esque type of like Snatch Game. And so my question is, do you prefer the remixes? And we normally get the remixes on like the international
Girl,
franchises.
you already know the answer to that. No, I fucking hate the remixes. Make Snatch Game great again and keep it back to what it originally was. I hate these like Snatch Game of Love, the what was it, the Family Feud Snatch Game. I hate those versions of Snatch Game. Just keep it simple. You don't need all this extra shit. Just let them just, play Snatch Game like normal.
Oh my God, not you saying make Snatch Game great again. Hmm,
Yeah.
you know, just like just like Oklahoma, I feel like they needed to put Bibles in the classrooms, and just like that's what they felt that was necessary. So I guess
Mhm.
here, I guess these international franchises think that when you remix Snatch Game, it just makes it better, and I also think that takes me out of the fantasy of Snatch Game.
Yeah, I agree.
That's probably why we don't
Like,
get it.
yeah, and I just realized I missed one that I really hated. Canada's fucking Snatch Game musical. I hated that shit.
Yeah, that was a
Oh, I
choice.
hated
That was
that.
a really bad choice. Um,
Yeah,
and I don't like the Snatch Game of Love that the All-Star seasons have. I don't like it. Like I just I'm that's why I'm so appreciative of All-Star 7 going back to the original format and having not one Snatch Game but two of them, but they were the original formats.
yeah, and that's what they should stick to.
Yeah, and that's why it was like such an amazing Snatch Game. Shout out to
Yeah,
Jinx Monsoon and that Judy Garland because that shit was
yeah, because
everything.
I feel like when they add all these remixes, it adds another layer of difficulty. And it doesn't like it usually never results in a good Snatch Game. Because these
No.
girls are trying to make it fit the new scenario, like Snatch Game of Love. They're trying to make somebody fall in love with them rather than just focusing on the jokes themselves. And I think it just makes it
Yeah.
more difficult, and most of the queens end up faltering.
Yeah, except for Jujubee, because a Sensible 74, that shit was everything. Like,
But that's what
that
I
was
said.
good.
Most of them, not all of them.
Right.
Most of them end up faltering.
Because a Sensible
Yeah,
74, I would turn up the thermostat to a Sensible 74. Like, that was great. Like, her Eartha Kitt
that
was
was.
amazing. Like, the fact that she wasn't in the top for that, or like top two, is wild.
Who was?
It was Shea
Who
Coulee.
was?
Shea Coulee. She won with Flavor Flav.
Mm, that was a choice.
And Alexis Mateo won for Walter Mercado,
Mm,
which
mm,
Walter Mercado is
eh.
funny in his
I
own
thought
right.
Jujubee did better.
But yes, a
Yeah, but I
sensible
thought Jujubee was
74,
better than both.
like we talk about a sensible 74, like just all the time. Like that's what we got out of that episode of Snatch Game was a sensible 74. Like that's just no shade to Shay and
Yeah,
no shade to Alexis, but sensible 74, it's like
I don't
the
remember what
line.
they did.
Right.
I don't
They were
remember what
good.
Shay or Alexis did.
They were good. You know, Shay had her moment with the clock. And then Alexis had the moment where she was like, "You dumb bitch, you didn't see that you were losing," or something like that piece.
See, but the fact that I don't remember it makes me think like it
It
wasn't
wasn't
funny.
good.
Like it
Yeah, it
was
wasn't.
clearly not memorable enough for me to remember it years later. And the fact that
Well,
I
you
still
know,
remember a sensible 74.
you're right. But All Stars 5 in general, I just think it's kind of like a fever dream and is like a blur just because it was during COVID. And so I just think it just had an
Yeah,
unfair,
that's
just like,
why.
yeah, it was like an unfair advantage, right? Like it just was, it's not fair to them. It's not the Queen's fault. It's just that it was just filmed during that time. So a lot of it was like blurry. And then it
I
felt
just
short.
also
They didn't have a promo,
I'm not
like
even
it just
gonna
felt really short.
I'm not I was gonna get into it, but girl, we're reviewing Down Under, not All Stars 5.
Like we just went
So
off on
let's
that,
move on.
right? We just went off on like we just went off on All Stars 5. That just needs to be an episode of itself. Okay, but back to Down Under. So the queens, right? They're in the workroom and they're going through their creative process, and so we get to know which characters they're doing. And so we see
Mhm.
leaves on the table, and Nikita's playing around with it, and we find out that she's doing Mother Nature. What do you think of the Mother Nature character?
I feel no shade to Nikita, but I feel like when queens do like characters or like fictional characters that don't really have any personality or like any backstory or anything like that, it's just a way of like essentially wanting to be themselves because they don't really know how to maybe impersonate a celebrity. So they're like, let
Okay,
me do this. Uh, well, actually, no, I don't know. That's kind of shady, and I didn't mean it to be that way. Like actually, um, I get why they do it. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. Like I feel like
okay,
Snatch Game is impersonating someone,
right.
not just creating your own character out of whatever you want.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I thought the Mother Nature character, one, I think it in itself, I guess she's a celebrity because she's Mother Nature. And then two, I found it to be really interesting.
But it's not a celebrity, like it's not an actual impersonation, which I feel like
Right.
is the game.
That piece.
It's
Okay.
like her being like, I'm gonna just take this character and I'm gonna make jokes with it, and I can do whatever I want with it because there's no character I can reference this, like base this reference off.
True. I thought that because of that, right? So because of that definition, and because of that like scenario, I thought she should have went full on like hood Mother Nature. For some reason, I wanted like this
Oh,
ghetto
fully.
Mother Nature, and it would have been so funny, like this Cardi B like esque Mother Nature, and her making fun of like pollution,
I
but
thought
she's like from the hood. Like that would have been really great.
that or like just really go in on a like kind of the politics behind like global warming and stuff like that. Just make something really funny and really controversial. I thought that would have been
Right.
great.
Yes.
Um,
And I mean, Michelle was trying to guide her in the right direction, saying, how do you make like talking about pollution funny? And it was ways in which she could do it. I just think she was just like thinking about
she could
pollution.
have brought a RuPaul's fracking.
She could have. I mean, she,
She probably would
but
have been
she,
eliminated, but it would have been funny as fuck.
right. But I think that would have been what we were missing, right? It's kind of like you got to think if you're going to give a
Yeah.
character, or if you're going to do a character that's not technically a celebrity, then you have to think outside the box a little bit. But we'll get into how she did in the actual Snatch Game, but that was just like going through the workroom and getting the creativity process. Then we have Mandy Moves. So she did Jane Turner from the show Cat and Kim. I wasn't like I'm not too like well versed on Cat and Kim, so I really don't know. I thought it was an interesting character to do, especially since Brenda Bress was doing Gina Riley, and they happened to be on the same show.
Yeah, I had no idea who those characters were, but I was excited being that they were the one doing them and that the fact that they were gonna get to play off of each other, I thought it was like I got excited. I had no idea who those characters were.
Right, right.
Um, but I was excited to see how they would volley off of each other.
Yes, and that's also what made me excited to see the two characters like play out because they were so excited about them, and I had no idea. And the fact that they were like, "Oh my God, I have a
Mhm.
Gina," another one is like, "Oh, I have a Jane," right? Like it was just they were just going back and forth, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And then we have Freya as Mrs. Claus, oh Miss Claus, It was Miss
Miss Claus.
Claus, and she had a whole backstory. And then her second option was Erica Jane from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I don't think neither option was funny.
No,
And
I
then we
think they
had
were both
Max.
choices. I think she should have left him. I think she should have left Claus to Max. Maybe. I don't
I-
know. Who knows what Max would have done, honestly.
First of
But
all, then Max, you got Max drag queen doing Mrs. Claus, and then her second character was Reese Witherspoon. Again, who's to say that Mrs. Claus is funny? And why? What's the odds of having two queens want to do Mrs. Claus?
yeah, that was kind of weird. Like, how did they both think of it? Like, was this filmed around Christmas or something? Like, is that why they both thought of it? I don't know. But
It was the
either
most
way,
random
it kind
thing.
of goes back to what I said about like Nikita's, where it's like it's a fake character. There's nothing really to base it off of. So like they could have done anything with it. And I actually let me not continue because I'm about to start getting
Right,
into it. So
right.
yeah,
Um, and then we had Carna Ford, and she was doing Eddie Murphy, and all I put was no, ma'am. I'm confused. I don't understand why she thought that was okay.
I blame Monet for this because she did that. What was it? The Martin Lawrence character, I think it was.
She did Shanae, yes, she did.
Yeah, and now people feel like they can do a similar thing, and
First of all,
yeah, no
Shanae
man.
is funny. So Martin Lawrence was funny as Shanae. Fucking Rasputia, like Norbit. Nobody thinks about Norbit when they think of Eddie Murphy. No,
I
you
would
think
have,
of Coming to
I would
America.
have, I personally would have gone like full donkey.
Oh, Donkey.
Yeah,
Oh, you could have went Donkey. That would have been fun.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, and he could have dressed like a donkey and everything.
that would have been fun though. There's a lot of things to play with. You
Yeah.
could have played with Shrek, Fiona, like Prince Charming. It was a lot of things you can do. The dragon.
Hmm.
That would have been really great. The babies. It's a lot
Yeah.
of things you could do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have Vibe, and she chose Julia Childs. That is smart.
Hmm. I first of all, I love Julia Child because like
I mean, who doesn't?
icon. Yeah.
Like,
Um, but this is exactly who I would expect from Vibe,
yep,
like somebody like that.
exactly. I'm like, who doesn't? Like, everybody loves Julia Childs. My favorite Julia Childs is Julia and Julia. I'm not sure if you know that movie, but it's such an amazing movie. I forget who's in it though,
Yeah,
but it's
with
so good.
isn't it oh my God, what's her name? Oh, the kids are gonna kill me. Um,
Is it Emma Stone?
it's not Emma Stone. Emma Stone, is it? No, I
Is
mean
it
no. Oh,
who's like the younger
crap.
version? Because you know they played the younger version of Julia and then the older
I
version.
I
But like,
I I do not remember the younger version at all. At all. I was just thinking of the older version, which is played by
hmm,
fuck, what's her name? Meryl Streep, isn't it?
I think so because that's who Vibe was giving me. Like,
Yeah.
she was giving me that Julia,
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
unhinged.
Fully.
Like, I love that, and I thought that was a really great character for her to play. Especially, I didn't see nobody else like playing Julia Childs. And then we get Lazy Susan. So in the workroom, Lazy Susan
Julia
tells Michelle,
Child. Julia Child, girl. There's no S.
"It's Julia Childs." No,
Child. Is
it's
it
Child,
Childs?
like one child.
Let me look this.
You sure
I think
it's
it's
Julia
just one.
Childs? It has to be Julia Childs. But regardless, Julia Child or Julia
Julia.
Childs, they were both good.
It's child. One
Oh,
singular.
it's own child. Okay. Um, I didn't know. I thought it was Julia Childs. So on my notes, I kept putting
Didn't
Julia
they have the
Childs.
same conversation on the actual episode too?
Yes. Child or Childs, same thing. She did great. Um,
Yeah.
and then and then Lady Susan gives Michelle three options. She gives her Fala the horse, which I was like, what the fuck is she doing? Then she gets Werner, like Herzog. Did not know who that was. Had to Google him, and apparently he's like like a German something. Still don't remember. And then Lindsay Lohan.
I love how
All
all
three of
three
those
characters were completely different.
like
Like
so different.
none of them were similar at all. I
No.
kind of wish she would have gone for the horse just to see how crazy she would have gone with it.
Yeah.
Just because the bitch is crazy in the best
Listen,
way
it would have been
possible.
like yes, it would have been like Gottmik as the dog. We don't know the dog. We
Yeah,
haven't heard the dog. We don't know how the dog talks. We don't know if the dog talks. So it would have been really good for her to like give the horse an accent. Like we don't know. Like if is the horse to Diddy? Is it uppity? Like is it like royalty? We don't know. So I think it would be really good for her to do the horse. But I have some thoughts on her Lindsay Lohan that I would love to get into when we talk about the performances itself. Um,
yeah, we
and
need to
then
get into it
lastly,
because girl, there's a lot of
yes,
thoughts.
yes. And then lastly, we have Lucina, and she's going to do Tabitha Coffee. First of all, amazing choice. Another person, love Tabitha Coffee. She's not funny. Like, she's not funny, but she's like insulting, which can be funny.
I have no idea who Tabitha Coffee is,
Okay,
but I
so
know
she
who that
is
is.
this hairstylist, right? She's like a hairdresser, hairstylist. She got really famous. She was on a show called Sheer Genius, an amazing show. Have to look at it. It doesn't come on anymore, but I think it was on Bravo. And then she's kind of like the Gordon Ramsay of like hair.
Oh, okay. Maybe I will look her
Yes.
up then.
And she's like a
That
butch
actually sounds
lesbian.
fun.
So good. With like a British accent. So good.
Oh, that's everything.
But I don't think she may be British. I'm not sure. She could be British or Australian, but she has a really like one of those accents,
I mean,
and
I'm guessing
it's amazing.
if a queen from down under is doing it, she's probably Australian.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have a point there. But yes, Australian like Gordon Ramsay. I don't know. Look at me. These names. It's not my specialty.
What's wrong with you
Um,
today?
these names. I can't get these names. I don't know. I make up names to these people. I feel bad. Listen, I'm sorry. Um, And so, while the queens are like getting ready to do their snatch game, we see that Max chooses Reese Witherspoon to do. What do you think about that choice?
That was a choice. I just don't
That
think
was a
Reese
choice.
Witherspoon is funny. Unless you
She's
are
not.
like, unless you're fully going off of one of her characters, like, she's not funny.
She's not. She's not funny at all. So confused.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so let's get into the actual challenge. And just a disclaimer, I feel like this is where the shade is going to come at. So just to the people who are watching us or listening to us, it's about to get real shady. It's about to get real cloudy. I can tell you that right now. But not so much by me, but mostly for Jhoany.
I'll try to be nice.
Okay, so,
Emphasis on try.
and he's like, this is not going to work. Anytime he say he's going to try to be nice and not shady, it does never work. So let's talk about Lazy Susan first, because she was the first one I saw on my screen. What did you think?
Fuck you, Lazy Susan, because you got my hopes up. I was thinking she was gonna kill Snatch Game. That was not Lindsay Lohan. That was not Lindsay. I don't. What the hell was that accent? Oh my god. She had one good joke, and it was the last joke she did, where she was like, "My mom didn't let me have birthdays, so the men would keep putting me in the movies." Would keep putting me in the movies. I thought that was hilarious, but that was the one joke she had. I didn't get that accent. It was just not Lindsay Lohan at all.
Yeah, I was confused. I
She
didn't
could have
think I
played
was
up
ever
so
going to
much
write.
with like she could have like played up like her whole like I mean it kind of sucks to say, but she could have played up like the drug addiction, the alcoholism, all that troubled time she had, and I thought she could have made that funny in a respectful way. But all the jokes just fell flat.
I didn't think I was ever going to write. I don't like this. From Lazy Susan. I didn't think I was ever going to write.
That
I don't like
that,
this.
that was such a disappointment because I expected so much from her, and I thought she
Yeah,
would have killed Snatch Game.
I didn't get that accent. Like, where did that come from? Was she doing a
Not
character of Lindsay Lohan? I don't remember none of that.
not a character that I know.
I was
Girl, I don't
confused.
know.
Yes. Okay. So the next one is Vibe.
Hmm I
What
actually
did you
like this
think?
one. I thought she was
Me
funny.
too.
I thought she was funny. I actually
She
like
was
this
funny.
one. I
Yeah.
did expect Vibe to do good, and she delivered on that. I think she had some really funny jokes. My favorite one, and I feel like I'm gonna be saying this often now that I've heard it, is it was a put your baby in the oven and the pot roast in the tub kind of day. I'm gonna be quoting that forever.
Yes.
Or
Put your
whatever it
baby
was
in
that
the
she said.
oven
That was hilarious.
and the pot roast in the tub. Yes. And then she said you had to turn on the pilot light and then take the baby out the oven. Yeah. Take the
Yeah,
baby
I
out the
thought that was
oven.
hilarious, and I'll be quoting that like every day.
And then she
Yeah.
was like, then when Michelle asked Reese a joke and she was like, he didn't come for the fucking lunch. That was funny.
No, yeah, she was really funny. I really liked Vibe. She did good.
She did. And then you had Carna Ford because she was the one on the bottom of the screen. And I didn't get it.
Me neither. I thought that was really bad. I hated the outfit too. What the fuck were those titties?
I don't
That was like
know.
a
What was
uniboob.
but can we talk about the name? She was Respusa
It's,
Nose Carta. I was like confused. I said, what is this? What is she doing?
I
Is she doing Respusa? Is she doing Eddie Murphy? Like, what was she doing?
I don't think she even knew who she was doing, and she tried to like blend different characters together, and it just didn't work. It was very confusing. It made no sense. It had no storyline. Shit. I failed.
It you really did. I told you. I told you I wasn't gonna work. And then we had Max. Okay, so here's my thoughts. One, I didn't get it. Two, I didn't get it. Three, I didn't get it. And four, I guess she was legally blonde. I didn't know until she answered the question that said she was from Harvard. I was confused.
So again, not funny. She could not make Reese Witherspoon funny. That was gonna be really hard to do. She set herself up with that one. And she failed.
I mean, if you're gonna do a Reese Witherspoon, like, and you use Legally Blonde, where's Bend and Snap? Where's like, oh my gosh, where's the dog? Like, where's the pink like paper that's scented? Like, if you're gonna go Legally Blonde, go Legally Blonde. I needed her to be super ditzy, but also smart at the same time because she was. Elle Woods was like really smart, but she was also really blonde. Um, or do Cruel Intentions, Reese Witherspoon. Do the virgin, play up on the character, like, oh my gosh, like I'm still a virgin, but you're slutty at the same time. Like, do that.
Yeah,
Do
it
that,
just
Reese.
wasn't funny to me. She didn't land the jokes. Maybe if she would
Well,
have done Mrs. Claus, she would have been funnier, but this was not it.
speaking of Mrs. Claus, then we have Freya as Miss Claus.
Ah, so I know she said she had a storyline for this Miss Claus. Was the storyline that like she was like a butch lesbian from Jersey? Because that's all I got.
Or she was a hoe that fucked dogs.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because
Um,
she
it
said
was
that
confusing. It was not funny.
she said Santa found her in the back with a whole bunch of
With
bitches.
some bitches rocking around the Christmas tree. So I'm like,
But the bitches is
was she lesbian?
dogs.
Like, I don't know. But I thought she was more referring to that as like
Oh, like vagina.
girls. Like, yeah.
Oh, I thought she was talking about bitches like dogs, and I was like, reindeers are
I
not
don't think she
dogs.
meant actual. I don't think she meant actual bitches.
Oh my
I think
God,
she
not
meant
me thinking that
bitches.
bestiality. Oh gosh,
You're
like
nasty.
apparently, but that's what my mind went. Like, so it was like
No,
bitches. I was like
my mind was like,
dogs.
oh, no, my mind just went to like, oh, so Miss Claus is a lesbian.
Hmm. With
Uh,
a lesbian chain smoker.
yeah, I don't get it.
That's
It
old.
gave me more Michelle Visage than Miss Claus.
Not Marcel Visage. Like, what season though? Like season
Uh,
like
I,
the earlier season, like Logo.
yeah, like logo seasons Michelle Visage.
Okay, I can see that. All right. So then we go to group two, which I thought group two was far better than group one. Like, and unfortunately,
Oh, absolutely.
obviously, like we have Lazy Susan is in group one, and she was underwhelming for me for this snatch game, and I was so upset. She reminded me of Lawrence Cheney, which we thought going into that episode, Lauren Cheney was going to demolish like Snatch Game, and then she ended up bombing Snatch Game. It was the same thing for me with Lazy Susan.
What did Laura Cheney do? I don't even remember.
I don't remember, but I just know that she bombed like hard the Snatch Game in her season. But she's a funny queen, I guess. So nobody expected
Yeah, I
that.
mean,
And so the same thing happened to me with Lazy Susan.
I'm gonna stop putting so much trust into these funny queens when it comes to Snatch Game.
Hmm
Because they
Unless
have
it
failed
drinks
me too many
monsoon,
times.
that's the only one that can do it. Um,
Or
took
bend in
a
a crab, bitch.
all Benz Le Creme or Trinity the Tuck. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah, Trinity
love
was great.
Trinity, but wasn't her first Snatch Game? Wasn't her first Snatch Game bad though? Like from her original season?
Yeah, but then she got like the double trifecta on All Stars.
But I mean, obviously after and obviously after that, and when was it? All Stars 4, she also did Caitlyn Jenner, which was funny.
Yeah, and her Snatch Game on season
Mm.
9 was
Okay.
Amanda Lepore. It was just safe. It wasn't like bad. It was just safe.
Oh right. Wait. Yeah. Why did
Yeah,
I think she bombed that?
I don't know.
Oh no, she bombed the roast. She bombed
The
the
roast. It was the
roast.
roast. Now Trinity in the roast, and she'll
That's what
be the
she
first one to
bombed.
tell you she's not
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
strongest in the
Yeah. Never
roast.
mind.
All queens got their Achilles healed, and that was her. But Snatch Game, she was fine.
Yeah.
But Brenda Bress in this challenge was amazing. Like
Oh, I fully loved
hands
her.
down.
I wasn't really
Like
expecting that,
me
but
neither.
oh, she killed it. Man, like it's not meant to be shady, but like I feel like she is kind of faded into the background the first 2 episodes, so I didn't
Hmm
really know what to expect of her when it came to Snatch Game, and she fully surprised me and delivered. I loved it.
Same. I think it's because she knew who that character was, and she had a fully realized concept. When she took out the CD and the chocolate
Hmm.
bar, and she said it was on sale, that was everything.
That was hilarious. That was
That was
hilarious.
so
The shade you threw at
good.
Michelle and RuPaul.
Yes. Michelle said, that's
Yes.
my CD. She was like, well, I have a ton of them. It was a whole tour bus they left. And I thought that was so good.
Yes, and then
Like,
she was like, and I brought a light snack, and then she pulls out the chocolate bar.
chocolate bar. Then she goes, I love me an hors d'oeuvre. And I like to make these little goat cheese pizzas. And she was like, Crisco?
The
Crisco? So good.
the way no, but the way she specifically said hors d'oeuvre, I thought was hilarious. Like the accent she used, I thought was so
Yes.
funny.
It was so good.
I can't even
Okay.
replicate it if I wanted to, but I thought it was so
No.
funny.
And then next to her was Nikita, and she was Mother Nature. What did you think? Oh my, was it that bad for you?
Again, she had a concept which was like about like microplastics and pollution or whatever. I just don't think it was funny, and I don't think she executed that very well. Um, it just felt very flat in one note.
First of all, I
I
thought the
don't know.
CO2 joke was funny.
I
She
thought
was
she
like,
was.
so much CO2 in the air. She was so funny to me.
I, I thought she was trying too hard to stick to the storyline that it prevented her from being funny because she was too concentrated on delivering that
Yes,
storyline that
yes,
she probably overthought it and couldn't really deliver the jokes.
absolutely.
That's what I'm kind of attributing to why
And
it
then
was
she put
kind
too
of
much
bad.
dust in it. Then she
But
put too much powder in the air and she almost choked.
that was funny. Her
Like,
almost choking on her own prop was
like,
funny.
like unintentionally put so much powder in the air that she was dying in the corner. Like, what?
Yeah, see, that was funny, but that wasn't intentional.
Right. So her physical comedy was funny because she put too much powder. And then she was like, it's so much CO2. Like, I thought that was a really funny joke.
Yeah,
But,
but the rest fell flat.
oh, true. The first joke, the microplastic
Still
one,
love you,
it
Nikita.
wasn't a funny. It wasn't, yeah. But it wasn't funny, the microplastic one. But, Nikita's my sis. But the CO2 joke, I thought the CO2 joke was funny. I like that. Um, then
Ooh.
we had Mandy Moves. And I thought she started off really slow. She was like a slow burn, right? And then she warmed up to it. And
Mhm.
I think her playing with Brenda was really funny.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really funny. I thought it was really cute. like you said, her playing off of Brenda, they did great together.
Hmm.
I clearly it was Brenda that was kind of leading it and setting the pace and the tone. Um,
Yep.
so it's kind of I kind of would be curious to see what Mandy Moves would have done had she been in the other group. Like, would she have been as funny if she had not had Brenda
Mm,
there to kind of volley off of? Like, would she have fallen flat?
that's a good point. I don't know. I don't honestly really don't know. I think when they was talking about it, obviously we're skipping ahead a little bit, but when Keita Mean said that, right? I think she said she's the one that said she is lucky, like Mandy was lucky that she had Brenda to like volley off of. But I still think that I think what
Hmm.
made it funny was the volley between her and Brenda. I just thought Brenda just fully knew this character. I thought Mandy
Absolutely.
slightly was thinking about being the character more than actually making the character funny. That's just my opinion.
I have no idea. I have no idea what you just said, girl. Something just happened. I don't know. Something glitched.
I felt I felt that.
But I would
I
just say I
said,
agree. I would just say I agree.
okay, but what I was saying was that I felt Brenda fully knew her character and she made it funny. I said Mandy, on the other hand, was so thought of, like she was so in her head and methodical about her character that she forgot to make her character funny.
Yeah, and I think once she let that go a little bit, that's when she started getting funny.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't think she was the worst. I think she was funny.
no,
I think she was once
she
she
was
let
funny.
go and once she had fun with it. I think she was funny.
Yes, mango espadrilles. That's all I said. That's
Yeah.
all I wrote was mango espadrilles. And then we had Lucina. Last but not least. Honestly, I didn't expect Lucina to be as good as she was.
Mm, I mean, she wasn't.
Scissoring,
Sorry, I was just trying to remember what she did. And I kind of did. She was
scissoring.
cute. She had some funny moments. She had some funny moments. She had some funny moments, but I would not place her near the top. Actually, probably yeah, but that's only because everyone else was so bad.
Mm, okay, so I can see that, but she was funny. I thought she had a moment, or maybe it was just the editing. The editing kind of was like weird. Like we got a little funny moment in the beginning, and
Or
then
maybe it
after
was
that,
because
it's like,
of,
mm,
or maybe it was because of the group she was in that we kind of thought it was funny. Because I do think the second group did better.
yeah,
Maybe that's why we thought she was kind of funny. I don't know, but it definitely was not bad. I would
no,
not say it was bad.
no, it was a safe performance. So before we actually tell who
Yeah.
or before we knew who the bottom three was, or the bottom, who was your bottoms just out of like the challenge?
Max for sure, and I'm sorry, Nikita,
I had Max and Karna.
and I think
I thought,
Karna
I
and Nikita
thought,
are like interchangeable, but Max was the
yeah,
clear bottom.
Max.
I thought,
Yeah, Max was like bad for sure. Yes. I just thought Nikita's
unfortunately,
CO2 joke and her almost dying on the powder just gave her like a little bit of a leg up. Just a slight leg up. Um, and then when the queens are getting
okay,
ready, yeah, when the queens are getting
again,
ready,
for me, the for her, uh,
no, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna go to the next
I was just
part of
gonna
the
say for
thing.
me, her and Klarna were pretty interchangeable. Oh,
Okay.
girl, what is going on with this shit today? It is very laggy.
Oh, is it? It's fine. It'll all come together. So just talk like it's normal.
Okay,
It literally all comes together.
okay,
Like it all comes together. I've been thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be like a big old pause here, and then when I edit it, I'm like, oh, it's like a whole conversation. Oh, great, cool. Um,
oh,
this will be a
okay.
Patreon exclusive. This is our Patreon exclusive. This is the part where we're supposed to edit it out, but it's a Patreon exclusive. You guys get to see it. But before the queens get ready for the runway, Max has a breakdown. And I felt really sad because like grief is one like nobody knows when grief is gonna happen, right? Like you could be good and out of
Yeah.
nowhere something triggers it, and then you just like are not good. But you can tell that something was wrong with Max drag queen. Like for this episode, you could see that they weren't themselves. So um, I
Yeah, and
love that
honestly, I
vibe.
would not be
Yeah,
able to compete a month after my mom passed away. Like, no, I'd be a mess. I'd be
yeah,
a wreck.
yeah,
So kudos
yeah,
to her for going there and actually competing and pulling her boots up and be like, I'm gonna do this.
yeah.
Because I know I would not be able to do that.
It's true. And I love that vibe was there for her. I thought that was an amazing moment. I thought that was really good. That was very mothering a vibe.
Hmm.
And I was like, yes, that was good for the show.
Did you
I was
just
like,
call her
great.
old?
I mean, in gay terms, she's old.
Oh,
But in gay terms,
I
I'm
mean,
old.
kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Bitch, I'm old.
yes. Like, we not no spring chickens no more. We old, child. Um, so now I'm hoping that, once Max has this breakthrough that they can channel this like this energy and do an amazing thing for like the next couple of episodes. Hopefully we get to see Max Drag Queen like be Max Drag Queen. So super excited about that.
Yes.
All right. So now onto the runway. But this episode we see that the mentor is none other than season one's winner, Kita Mean, who I have to say she looks really good.
She did. She looked amazing. Yeah, that's all I have to say about her, actually.
I love the blue. For some reason, I guess the mentors is loving this blue. Like it's the theme because first off,
I
Kobe
so
did,
far
and now Kita.
so far I am loving the whole rotation of the queens being like the guest judges. I'm loving it. Or
Mm.
like the right hand to Michelle.
Hmm.
I'm really loving this idea of the queens rotating, and I hope if there's a season 4, I hope they continue that.
You mean in season 5? This is 4.
This is season 4.
This
Oh,
is
oh.
4. Ooh, ooh, which season did you forget? Which drag you said fuck they drag? Which winner? Oh my God,
Spanky.
Spanky? Uh, not the Queen Kong season.
Okay, so the reason I forgot, actually, that's the story for another episode.
Okay. Um, so now let's get into the runway. Category is Queen of Desserts. I was actually like really excited about the Queen of
Mm-hmm.
Dessert runway. Like just the name
I
of it,
was
the
too.
theme. I was like, yes. And it could be because I'm a fat bitch and I was hungry, maybe. But I was like, ooh, Queen of Dessert
I
seems so
saw.
fun.
I was as somebody who bakes, I was so excited to see what these girls were gonna do,
Hmm.
and I was so disappointed when they started walking down the runway.
Ooh. All right, so let's get into it. So the first look was Vibe, and she was a wedding cake
Was
with
she? Because that didn't
rosettes.
look like no damn wedding cake to me.
Yes, she was a wedding cake with rosettes. For some
I
reason,
mean,
I
if
don't
she
know
says that's what
why.
she was, I guess that's what she was.
I don't know
But
why.
to me, it was
Like,
given.
what was it giving?
Oh, to me, it was giving bleached booty holes. That's what
You know
those
what?
like little rosettes look like.
You know what? I don't know what it is with Vibe and fucking rosebuds, but like, let
I
the
think she's
shit
trying to tell us something.
go. Like, let the shit go. Like, if I see another fucking rosebud, I'm going to lose my shit. And that is speaking from the top, right? Like, come on, I'm gonna lose my shit. But I'm just like, no. But apparently she was a wedding cake with like, or she was like whipped cream rosettes with
She said
cherries.
something. Yeah, yeah. I don't. I. It did not look like whipped cream to me at all.
No,
Like
it
it
didn't.
just
It
looked
was
like a whole
it
bunch of
was ill
fabric just
fitting.
bunched up, and it was
Yes.
very ill-fitting. I did not like the fabric. No, it just didn't give me like a desserts runway.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. Especially not to start off the runway. No. And then we
No,
had Max Drag Queen, and she was whipped cream with cherries.
girl, it was a fucking bikini. Like,
Stop relying on that body.
yeah, it was not good. It looked like she got it off of fucking like Sheen or something. I
AliExpress.
don't know. Yeah, AliExpress, whatever. It was not a cute look.
It wasn't. It was
It
confusing.
needed way more. It needed way more.
Yeah, yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Not another teen movie where it's Chris Evans and he put the whipped cream on his crotch and his butt.
On, on his nipples.
Yeah,
Oh, I see that.
That's what it was
Hmm.
giving. It was giving very much that. Um, and then we have Freya. So Freya Armani, she was next, and she was chocolate dipped churros. I didn't get that.
I liked the concept. I liked the idea. I liked the dress itself. I absolutely hated the placement of the churros. That they were like hanging on her elbows. I thought that was
But
so ugly. I'm
there was
sorry.
churros in the dress.
Uh, there was churros. She had churros hanging on like her wrist and her elbows, but it looked weird. Like
She did?
it made no sense. Yeah, it made no sense for them to be hanging off of those spots specifically. It just made her look like a pterodactyl.
Not a pterodactyl. Not Tia Coffee
Yeah,
versus Lawrence
yeah.
Chaney.
It was giving that. But I
Um,
appreciate the idea.
at least one of us do, because I didn't like it. I just wrote no ma'am. I hated the shit. I thought the shit was ugly. I thought it was a stupid dress. I did not like it at all. I was just like, what is this? I was so confused. It looked cheap. It looked really cheap. And I was like, she just needs to go back home and like change her fucking clothes. It was bad.
And you said I mean? You said I mean a shady bitch? Do you hear
I'm so,
yourself?
I'm so sorry, but I was so upset at this one. Like, so mad. I,
Honestly, I think it
no,
was just the Mexican in me that was just excited to see something churro themed. Um,
I was so upset.
I like the dress. I like the dress. I hated the churro situation she had going on.
I was so mad. Um, and the next was Lazy Susan.
I wanted to like this so bad. Um, but to me, it just felt very unfinished. I mean, she literally dressed up as a lazy Susan, as her namesake. But it just felt very unfinished. Like from the bottom, there was like nothing there. You just saw her underwear and maybe like a little cherry. The table looked very cheap. There was not enough plates or decorations on it. I just think it needed a lot more. Um, like girl, this is your namesake. You should have gone all out.
I didn't think that I would have to say no, ma'am, to a Lazy Susan look.
So, especially a lazy Susan look. Like, come on.
I said, what is this? She was not a dessert. She's a fucking Lazy Susan. She was an appliance that we got in the 1950s.
See, I get it why she just I understand why she went that route because she was like a plate of desserts or whatever it was. But I don't think there was I don't think the desserts were big enough. I don't think there was enough on the table for her to really like deliver on the runway theme. Lazy Susan just disappointed us this episode,
No,
unfortunately.
ma'am. No, ma'am. It was a no, ma'am. It was nothing,
No, I
nothing
agree.
you could
I
do.
agree
It
fully.
was no, ma'am. And I was just so
No,
upset.
I think she could have. I think it could have been good had she executed it well, but it just felt very unfinished to me.
I didn't get dessert. And so I was like, wow, like, this is a Lazy Susan because her name is Lazy Susan, but I didn't get dessert. Like, I'm sorry. I was just like, oh, I guess they're on the Lazy Susan and she's going to turn it around. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Um, the next one up was Carnivore. And so all I'm going to say, because it's a cultural reference, and I'm not going to like shade someone's culture, all I have to say is I didn't like it.
Girl, you just went in on the churros.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But she
Yeah.
didn't say it was the Mexican churros.
um,
Like,
is she Mexican? I don't think she.
no.
Yeah, I don't
She
think
didn't
she.
say it was Mexican
What
churros. She
other
just said,
churros are
oh,
there,
chocolate chip
girl?
churros. Hmm. But Karna said this is a Filipino
Yeah.
like
Um,
dish. So I'm not gonna like go in. I just didn't like it.
I am. No, okay. It was not that bad. It was not that bad. I, I did. Uh, Never mind. Moving on.
Right. That's just what I'm gonna say. Um all right, then we had Nikita and she was orange chocolate chip ice cream.
The fuck she was. Oh, she wasn't. That did not give me orange chocolate chip ice cream at all.
You know, in a weird way, I really enjoyed it.
No, the dress itself I thought was cute. I actually really like that silhouette. Um, I love those
Yes.
types of like poofy, like short dresses. Was it food? Was it dessert? No, absolutely not.
Oh no, it was
I
not
don't
ice
think it
cream at
fit the
all.
runway theme at all.
Oh, it
She looked
didn't.
gorgeous. She looked cute,
She was
but
so pretty.
that was not a dessert.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't. But the poofy dress was like so cute on her, and she was like wearing it.
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, oh my God,
absolutely.
this is so cute. Next up was Brenda Breast, and she was cowboy bubblegum popsicle.
Um, so I understood what she was trying to do as soon as she came out the runway. I was like, oh, clearly this is some type of like kids candy mascot or something. Did I like it? Not really. I just know I don't know. I thought it was a reach for this runway theme. To me, it was giving like rodeo clown. That's what it was
I
giving.
just didn't understand the popsicle. Like, I thought the stick was just there.
Uh,
It was just there for me.
she
It was like an
tried.
afterthought. The stick was an afterthought. It was like, oh, I'm the cowboy. Here's the stick. Like, it was an afterthought. I obviously I know Mr. Softy ice cream. You go there and you get the cowboy like popsicle. Like I get it, and you get you eat the eyeballs and the nose because it's bubble gum. Like totally understand. Like the colors was there, like the concept was there, but I just felt like the popsicle stick was an afterthought.
Honestly, I don't remember seeing a popsicle stick. Those popsicle
She,
stick?
yeah, it's the same way that I know it was
Oh,
churros on the dress. There's a popsicle stick there. That's how much he was paying attention because I wasn't. Um, and then we had Mandy Moves. Let me first of all, that fucking dress is everything. Probably the best on the fucking runway. This whole entire fucking episode. That's all I'm gonna say.
uh, is it bad that I forgot what she wore? What was it?
The licorice
Seriously, girl, what
dress?
was it? Oh no! Thank you for reminding me. It was a good look. It was a cute look. Did it give me? I mean, I hate licorice. I fucking detest licorice. That is like the one thing in the world I do not ever eat. So to me, when she came around, it didn't necessarily give me licorice. Um, it was a cute look. I was impressed by the fact that she did it herself. It was
And
really well
hey,
constructed. It was really nice. Did it fit the runway theme? To me, it did not. Uh, but
okay.
apparently, to Michelle Visage, she said she understood it right away, and I was like, oh, I mean,
I
I
did,
guess
I
if you say
understood it.
so, but
When she came around the corner, I was like,
you know,
this is fucking licorice.
I don't get
Before
it.
she even said
But
it,
again,
I was like licorice because you know why? I'm just like you. I hate licorice. I think licorice is disgusting. It's just I don't know why people like it, but some people love that shit.
licorice is nasty.
It's
There's only two things in the
nasty.
world I do not eat. It is licorice and pussy. That's it. And licorice is nasty.
I was not ready. I was not ready. I was not ready. You need to warn me when you say things like that. I was not ready. I was taken aback. Like did not know where that was going. And it went somewhere I didn't see it going. And I was like, wow. Um, oh my gosh. I'm like hot now. Like just didn't know what to do.
No.
Um, okay. I need a moment. Okay. I'm back. Lucina, in a sense, she was pancakes.
No,
Where?
she wasn't.
She
No,
was
she wasn't.
pancakes. She said she
The
was
fuck she
pancakes.
was? Okay, so I can say something too. It doesn't make it true.
I don't get it.
Um,
She said she was pancakes.
First of all, if your pancakes are coming out that color, girl, you need to learn how to cook. 'Cause that is a burnt ass pancake. And
It
that was
is
so I understood like the pancake was the hat. Bitch, she needed to tilt her head down so we could actually see it. Like the bitch is like 7 feet tall. Like who the fuck is seeing the top of her head? No one. Like she needed to like
Wait,
bend over so we could see the pancake.
I thought the whole outfit was the pancake.
The hat was the pancake and it was like dripping maple syrup.
So her outfit
Like
was
and
maple
the
syrup?
so the hat was the pancake. I don't know. See, that's the thing. Mm, it was just it was poorly executed.
I had high hopes for this runway. I
That was
did.
the flattest
I
pancake I've ever seen.
It was, and a part of
She
me
looked good. The
is
face
like,
looked good though. The face looked
oh, the
good.
mug was sitting. The mug was great. But, a part of me feels that I'm judging them based on unrealistic Americanized standards. And so for that, I gave it an A for effort. But did I want more from this runway? I did. And did I get what I was looking for? I did not. Am I upset? I am. Is it their fault? No, ma'am.
Yes, the fuck it
So
is.
it's not though.
No,
It's not.
that was me. Oh,
It's not their fault.
I mean, to some extent.
It's not though. Right? You have to think of it like that is that's their that's their prompt. Right? Like
Okay,
that's what
yeah,
they thought.
I guess. I really want to see the prompts they send these girls when they're preparing for their runways. Because
Yeah.
I feel like
Think of it.
lately there's been a huge disconnect with what they tell us the runway theme is and then what the girls actually come out with. And I think that was very evident in like All Stars not sorry, in Global All Stars.
Yes.
Where like the girls were just not hitting the runway mark, the runway theme at all.
Right. The same thing happened with Global All Stars in the same like prompt, right? Queen of Desserts. Some of them got the prompt, right? Tessa, Swiss cheese. Pythia, spanakopita. Alyssa Edwards, ice cream cone. That's food. Like we got food right away, right? That was
But
food.
they're run.
I think the run was like Queen of Desserts or food. It was like food or eat me, something crazy. It was like eat
It
me.
was something
Yes.
food. It was food. Yeah, it was not desserts. It was just food in general.
Okay. But we got to see food, right? Like looking at Tessa's dress, you knew it was some kind of cheese. Whether or not it was American cheese, Swiss cheese, or whatever,
Yeah.
you knew it was cheese.
I was
I'm
about to
not
say it
gonna
was
go
not
down
Swiss
this rabbit
cheese,
hole.
girl.
Right. I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole of like Swiss cheese. But we knew it was cheese. Spanakopita didn't look like food, but when she said the reference, you got the reference right away. It was food inspired. Alyssa with the ice cream cone was an ice cream cone. Like you can see she was an ice cream cone. Kitty as the English breakfast was English breakfast. And so for this runway for Queen of Desserts, I really wanted to see food inspired like costumes. And some of them just
Yeah,
didn't give me like enough food. Like Mandy Moob's dress, an amazing dress. I got licorice because I knew what licorice looks like. But as someone who does not like licorice, if it was a normal person, you probably wouldn't know that that was licorice. You'd have thought that was just an
yeah.
amazing tie-dye dress, like an amazing like neon like
It,
dress.
that was girl. It was not tie dye. It was neon, but it was not tie dye.
Oh, I thought it was like tie-dye. But you would have
Girl, you
thought
know
it
what
was
tie dye is?
yes. Now that I said it out loud, yes.
Okay.
Um, yes, tie-dye, like go down. Yes. Um, but churros did not get churros. I thought that was pancakes.
I just thought it was molten chocolate, like melted chocolate. That's all I thought it was, like hot
She could have
fudge or
said it was like
something.
she could have said hot fudge. She could have said it was fondue, but she said chocolate dipped churros. That was very
And she had
specific.
the three little churros hanging from her elbow.
Listen, that you saw that nobody else saw. Um, but
Maybe I was
regardless
just
of the
hungry and I was like, "Oh, look, churros."
true, but regardless of the shade, the tops are Vibe, Brenda Breast, and Mandy Moves. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, who
I
else
agree.
would have been?
Yep, I agree.
Lindsay
I think
Lohan?
everybody else, no, right? And then the bottoms of the week are Carter Ford, Max Drag Queen, and Nikita Amon. Do you agree with the bottoms?
Yes. maybe would have like Love You, Lazy Susan. I maybe would have thrown her in there, like
I would have
switch
thrown
one of
her
them
in
out.
there as well. I didn't think she did a
Yeah,
great job this
no.
episode. I didn't think. So I was surprised that she was not in the bottom. Um, but Brenda
Who would you
Breast
have
ends up
saved? Who
being,
would you have switched her for?
honestly, I
If,
would have just been a bottom four.
okay, I could see that. I could see that honestly.
I don't think
I
nobody
would
was
have done
safe
the I would have done the
except for
season
Lucina.
14. I would have done the season 14. All of y'all on the bottom. What's her face wins, and that's it.
I
All of you got
mean,
a lip sync.
we could have done that. What was it? What season was
Yeah,
that though? When she made all them
that
lip
was
syncs. She made the
14.
whole entire like bottom. No, it wasn't. No, it was Silky
It was
season.
so for Snatch Game specifically was season 14 where she
Oh
declared
yes, 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 yes,
um
yes. Yes.
what's her name safe. What's her name?
Deja Sky.
Deja Sky. I'm sorry, Deja Sky. Yeah, she declared her safe, and then she was like, next episode, all of y'all got lip sync, and that's how we got the
Yes,
original Lollapalooza. But
yes.
then in season 11, it was the Divas Challenge, whatever it was.
The worship challenge.
Yeah, um, where they absolutely bombed Mariah Carey.
It was
Uh,
bad.
and she
Like it
was
was
like,
bad.
all six of you are in the bottom. All six of you are lip
Yes.
syncing.
Right. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of how I felt, right? Like I felt like no one was like except for Lucina, I could say that she was safe. But like if I thought it was tops and bottoms, that's it.
I agree. I wouldn't even say have said Lucina. Throw her in the bottom.
Yep. I
Just
thought
save
the
the
only
other
ones that did
three.
well was Vibe, Brenda Breast, and Mandy Moves in Snatch Game. Just for Snatch Game. Because the runways was also really questionable too. Because if you would have put the runways together, it would have been just Brenda. Brenda would have just won the whole episode and everybody else would have been in the bottom.
Yeah, I think that would be cute to do. You know, for
Right.
the ratings. You know, put them
Yeah.
all in the bottom.
Put them all in the bottom. And so the bottom three actually ends up being the bottom three. And I
So
was
I
like,
mean, it's not no bottom nine, but we'll take it.
right. And I was just like, oh shit, Michelle is not playing. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
heard you,
She was
Michelle.
like, all three of you got a lip sync.
All three. And it's the first time that Down Under has ever done something like that.
Hmm.
So kudos to Michelle, you know. Thanks, Mama. Kudos to you for putting a bottom three together. We love Menage a Trois.
I bet after
Or
this episode, she was really regretting saving those two girls in that first episode.
I'm sure she was. I'm sure she was.
Yeah.
And then the bottom three, so Max, Drag Queen, Connor Ford, and Nikita Iman, they lip sync to Lady Hawk's Delirium. That song wasn't like the greatest song to lip sync to, though.
I agree. Um,
It wasn't
Especially
bad. It
like,
just was not a good
yeah,
song
no,
to lip sync
absolutely
to.
not. But after watching the lip sync too, I really wish they would have given them like something they could really like dance to and just go all out in and like flip and dip and all that stuff. Um, so I was kind of disappointed in the lip sync song choice,
Yeah,
but I thought the girls did well with what they were given.
yeah, that makes sense. Um, and then So there's a couple of standouts in the lip sync for me. One, Max
Mhm.
Drag Queen did that fucking flip into the split. It probably was the cleanest fucking split that I've ever seen on the stage.
I had to like rewind it and rewatch it so many times just to understand what had happened and how she had done that because there was like no moment of pause. It was like a straight flip into a split. Like it was so smooth. It was flawless. It was so good. I've never seen a trick like that.
No, it was the cleanest flip into a split ever. Like it was effortless. I was like, did she even think
Yeah.
about it? Like,
No, it looked like it just whoop, like she didn't break a sweat doing it.
yes. I was just like, wow, this is crazy to
This
me.
is the Max we were warned about when she entered the workroom. This is the Max that everyone was terrified. They were like, "Fuck! If we got a lip
She
sync
did it.
against her, we're going home." And she showed us why they're terrified of her.
Yep. That flip into that split was nasty. And I was like, wow. And it just came out of nowhere. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Between that, I thought that was good. Nikita was giving me some really good moments. I thought
I love
she, what, the duck
I loved
walk?
her dock walk. Yes, because like you couldn't see her bending her knees, so all you see is just the two little like feet, and like then the dress covered it all. So she looked like a little oompa loompa, like strutting around the stage. I thought that was hilarious.
So
So
good.
funny.
Yes, the duck walk was everything for me. And
Hmm.
then Karna, I felt like she was in survival mode, and so I think she was just
Absolutely.
so hungry to like stay that she kind of took me out of the fantasy.
Yeah, I don't think she did bad necessarily, but I see what you're saying where like she was frantic and she was just trying to do anything to make sure she stayed. And I
Yeah,
think the result was I just thought her choices weren't the best when it came to the lip sync song itself. Like her movements weren't matching the song. The energy wasn't on the right level. I don't know. It just
yeah, but something was
she
off.
didn't do
Yes,
bad. Yeah,
no,
she didn't do bad. It was just it was not for this song, girl.
no, it wasn't. But we end up seeing that Max Drag Queen stays, Nikita Amon stays, and Karna Ford is the second queen to go home. Now, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree.
I
I
mean, she
like
wasn't
Carter
ready.
Ford.
It's the second time in the bottom,
Uh,
so I think it was her time.
yeah, yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. I like Carter Ford, but I think maybe she should have taken a little bit more time to really get her persona and her drag character together and just everything together before she maybe had applied or gotten on the show. Because I feel like a couple years from now, Carter Ford is gonna be like unstoppable.
Listen, there could be Filipino versus the world.
That'd be a good fucking season, girl.
It could be Filipino versus the world. The Philippines
That'd
versus the
be a
world.
good
It would have been really
season.
good. Well, yeah. Um, so episode was it three? This is episode three. Um, was a little underwhelming for both of us, right? Like we had an amazing first episode. We were super excited. Episode two, for me, I enjoyed it. You not so much. And then episode three, we both agree it wasn't giving what it needed to give. Hopefully, episode
But
four turns it around.
but it's still better than Global All Stars.
Yes, yes. I think as a
Yeah.
whole, I like the cast of Down Under season four. I think this is a really
Yeah.
good like cast. I think all these drag queens are really strong in their own right. This is the first time I really don't see like a clear, apparent like front runner. Yes, we can say Lazy Susan because she won two episodes in a
But then she
row.
fucked up the Snatch Game.
Right. And so I don't see like a clear like winner. Because then you had Vibe who's coming out the rear, like three highs in a row, right? She was high, she was high, she was
Hmm.
high. So it's like, and she's getting a lot of confessionals. So you have that. Then you have the comedic relief, with Mandy Moves. So you're getting that piece that's coming out. So, and then you have this dark horse that I didn't see or expected and Brenda Bress, and I'm like, who's this person coming? And then the ones that we thought were going to be really good, like the Max Drag Queens, they're struggling.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited to see how the rest of the season plays out. I wonder if like halfway through the season, like things are gonna change and Max is just gonna like win every single challenge and maybe Lazy Susan's just gonna falter the rest of the season. You never know how these things are gonna go.
It's true, yeah.
Because sometimes the things the queens you think are gonna be the strongest end up like faltering like really badly. Like just a recent example I can think of is Electra in Mexico. She started off really, really strong,
Mm-hmm.
and then like, mm,
This is true, yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, well, there was our recap of Drag Race Down Under season 4, episode 3, Snatch Game. It wasn't the greatest. It's probably the shadiest episode we've had so far. So we probably need to calm down on the shade. No, I lied. We probably won't.
I should drink wine next time. Maybe that'll calm
Probably.
me down a little bit.
Maybe.
Or maybe I'll just turn into Jujubee and just go crazy.
Probably. But guess what comes out this week? Super excited for Canada's Drag Race.
Oh yay! I'm actually really excited to see this one.
Yes. So
I
excited
love
about
Canada.
that. So we're going to be booked and busy because we still have to do the Meet the Queens episode, right? So we're
Hmm.
still going to give the fans our opinions on the Meet the Queens before we start recapping the first season, like first, I was about to say
First
first
episode.
season. Oh my God, first episode. Not me like forgetting about the previous seasons of Canada. Um, Shout out to my favorite winner of Canada, Isis Couture.
Oh, absolutely.
Favorite
Absolutely.
winner. No, I love Priyanka, but Isis is like my favorite winner. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the step down from Venus, right? Her step down look to see what she does, because you know that always is like a thing, right? So I'm
I'm
excited
not.
to see that, to see what she's gonna do, because I've seen a lot of like Venus's performances, and she so far has been giving me, she's been giving me a lot. I love it.
Has she?
Um,
I mean, I haven't kept up with her.
yeah, she's been doing really well. I've been seeing some of these performances. I'm like, wow, Venus is great. The mug is everything. It's an amazing
I
thing.
mean, yeah,
So
her face was always amazing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, she's doing great.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna keep quiet, actually.
All right. Well, so we have that. Right. Then obviously we still have our interviews that's coming up. Can't wait about that. We have a lot actually. So that's gonna be fun. We have some fun, exciting games. We're gonna do another rendition of this or that. So what I need from the viewers is comment below. What is some this or that that you would like us to play? Right? It could be either this or it could be that. Please let us know. We want some different choices. I want a pool of choices so that I can
And
just
make it
pick a little
funny.
hat. Yes, please make it funny. Make it a little naughty. Why not? It could be a
Make it
little
shady. Make it shady.
slightly inappropriate. It could be a little naughty. It has to be super shady. We need it to be super shady. Make sure that
Yeah.
it's funny, but we want some options. I want to be able to pick in a little hat, shake it up, and pick out. Here's what we're going to talk about, this or that, and which one to choose.
If
We
somebody
want to
says
keep
top or
on.
bottom, you're getting blocked.
Please don't say top or bottom. Please don't say top or bottom. No, I really
You're
don't.
getting blocked if you do.
We've already done Jack or Grinder. We may bring that one back because I have a person I wanna see who likes Jack or Grinder. I have a person who I want to talk to. I do. I want to be like, are
You're
you a
such a whore.
I would like, are you a Jack girl or a Grinder girl? Because you know people just I want to know. Um, But anyways, this has been another episode of No Ma'am. So please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a single episode of No Ma'am. And if you're listening to us on any of the podcasting platforms, make sure you rate us 5 stars, comment, but please rate us 5 stars. It means a lot. We want to start competing with some of these big old podcasters out there because we have the material to do so. And as
And
always, we'll have you saying no ma'am and no time. Bye.